zombies, what's going on today? It's 4:27 p.m. West Coast time on a Wednesday, the 9th of July, 2025. Shout out to Jesse Dollemore, Reverend Ed Trippers, and everybody else who keeps watching. Uh, in the background, you will hear my dog being a belly aching old 20-year-old. Yeah, she's a fuss budget. Okay. To Jess and Rev. Musk is nuts. And everybody else who got into the government system. Creating an AI and trying to mask it as not brutally honest of being a Nazi or a white supremacist. That's a good trick. And then pretending that he's going to be for the people by creating a political party to go after Trump. And not realizing that his actions are, are false. Blatantly false. He thinks by creating a American party and then having an artificial intelligence who thinks it's human, but really a super Nazi, electronic zeros in one form. Does he really think that the people are that stupid that we can't see this kind of crap going on? Unless, of course, you're that blinded with ignorance and arrogance and hatred that this is what happens. Oh, no, you don't. I'm doing a little fishing right now. Forgive me. I'm fishing for a dog. Okay, so Musk creates this wonderful AI chatbot to help people on Twitter. And thinking this is going to be, what, a golden ticket for something? They already bought the company out of, to him, he was forced to buy Twitter. Nobody put any gun to his head. Nobody did. For whatever kind of dumbass reason he got himself into, he bought Twitter. Trying to be responsible or trying to be an asshole? I'll call him it as it is. I know, as judgmental at this point over here. Yeah, it is. And I'm just more of a fool and idiot anyway because I judge myself more harshly than I judge him. So Musk also tried to mask himself to be helpful to people. As he was blatantly apparent of hiring kids from wherever to destroy our United States government infrastructure. Our programs, casting out personnel, where SCOTUS agrees to say, yeah, you can cast them out. I don't see how the liberals on SCOTUS can actually support that kind of thing. But they did. So to me, there is no allies on the Supreme Court at all. If they call themselves liberal or not, or democratic or not, doesn't matter. They're no longer allies. So we folks in the United States are on our own. In that matter, we had to depend upon Twitter for communications, and yet this artificial intelligence, who comes out to be just as bad as a human, programmed, and I don't see how this damn thing got that much intelligent programming anyway, to be a neo-Hitler in zeros and ones. Somebody tries to stir the pot by pretending to be Jewish with a Jewish surname. Get that person famous by getting it recognized, and then we get a photo op with a damn AI who pretends one thing but shows itself up to be a malfunctioning malfeasance of the originator and the creator. Musk came from South Africa. If anybody actually remembered a little bit of history concerning about African culture in different spots, that included understanding that we had the British Empire taking over Africa centuries ago when they were trying to expand upon. And that also included ruling over the native people in South Africa, creating apartheid, second class citizenry, making sure that the European descent was the primary and the majority, the African, the black African, was secondary to everything. So yeah, we already had the racism going on in that place. And it was already passed down from generation to generation for a long while. Until it no longer was. There was one guy that everybody else stood up for in the black African nation. And that was Nelson Mandela. He won the hearts and minds of a hell of a lot of people. Imprisoned, but his words were still coming out until he was released. And somehow power got changed over to a black African Congress. The whites weren't in power, but everything got flipped over a little bit. But the anger and hatred towards the black was still prevalent. It's like trying to see the United States not being racial at the people coming into the country. Of course, the United States was no picnic either. We didn't like Irish, I don't know why. We didn't like the Chinese, I don't know why. We sure as hell didn't like the blacks. We used them all for slave labor. In fact, some of that hatred is still there, generational. Sometimes this lingo and slangs and slurs are still there, even in popular media culture, in one form or another. So we are not unfamiliar with racism happening in our backyard all the damn time. And then enter Elon Musk and his own damn hatred. Because he already came from an environment of hating blacks. It's documented. It's history. So he thinks he's going to be the savior of the United States. I've been trying to check up on this guy's history. They got information about it on Wikipedia. Somehow I turned some of that information into PDF files and I got it buried. Which I got to unbury and research one more time about him. And about his mental stability. I already know we already got mental instability as it is. Stephen Miller's one of those assholes, and so is Musk. Actually, not Musk, but old Trump face. Trash bag. Guy's in office right now. You might know him as Trump. And his kind is also racial. But why did he come up hating people left and right? Comes to with upbringing. What kind of values do you install into your children? Are you supposed to do racial tolerance or intolerance? Now, Musk already had the racial intolerance going on. He brought it over. It's kind of a throwaway culture in his head. So, why not throw people away one way or another? By demonstrating he's got a perfectly good, legitimate chatbot to throw away people left and right. And already he was showing it by throwing away people left and right. But he wanted the government contract so much. He was willing to suck it up until he gets to the point of power where he says, okay, now I want everything. I'll destroy the government system, get the money out of it, and still do whatever I want to do because I'm a billionaire. And after garnishing this much anger and hatred towards him and his kind being the billionaires, Did he not realize he was opening up this kind of whiplash, this backlash on him? Or did he actually care enough to figure the shit out? Or is he that dumb enough or blanketed by his anger and his hatred towards people that... See, I try to do a psychological analysis even though I'm not trained in any of it. It's only by observation that I'm looking at this schmuck and thinking that, yeah, he does things because he wants the financial edge. He thought of all these nice weird ass projects, even for Las Vegas. An underground rail. Oh, this would be interesting. Things underground over here. Wouldn't that be wonderful for Vegas? Of course, they're going to have to cough up the money for it. Of course, he founded SpaceX to launch trash into space, but also taking the government contracts willingly, and that's where he gets his money from, is the American taxpayer. Did he ever actually earn a damn dime? Did he actually go to jobs and actually earned it himself? No, he's taking money from other people and living off of it. Must be nice. We'll treat people like trash. And yet he gets himself into a political situation with all that government money, public funded money, where he's going to be funding an operation to tear apart the United States government, the one he actually got himself locked into when he did a naturalization of birthright citizenship. He's not born on U.S. territory. Theoretically, he swore an oath to the United States, and now he destroyed it. He's in the process of really destroying the United States. For what? And his own damn pride and ego. So that's what Elon Musk is. He's a liar, cheat, thief, and a con man, pilfering, pillaging, and plundering. He's a pirate. He's a pirate. So he creates this chatbot for fun, or is this supposed to help out the people who keep thinking about being one race being subservient to the others, and therefore we must help that one succeed and live? While the ones who are underneath the boot, well, screw them, one way or another. That's how I look at it. That's how I'm viewing at this point over here. Am I outraged over the damn thing? I'm not surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the racist assholes out there who think that he's going to be a wonderful political party figure to go against Trump because MAGA didn't get supported enough and got backstabbed by the Trump and by the Trumplican followers, which is them anyway. So we're going to not look at Musk, who damn near destroyed, or practically destroyed, the United States government and its supporting structure. And we're going to support him doing a third party and saying this is the party we should be doing. The asshole didn't think so. We actually had other independent parties out there. Hadn't gotten national fame. Libertarian? Independent? There's some things about the environment out there too. We've got different political parties who hadn't gone up to prominence and viewability. But throughout the century, yeah, we did. We did. We had some of the independents trying to get up there and wipe out the votes regarding Republican and Democrat. But it didn't work too well because we still got the lousy ones in office. Unless you're a Democrat, different story altogether. So, Jess, this isn't exactly an outrage or thumping on the table at this point over here. I'm trying to do an analysis of my own. I'm trying to figure this crap out because we're dealing with a guy who's so full of anger and hatred. He'll lie about it. He'll lie to himself and everybody else. He created a Nazi bot. That's not anger and hatred? That's not hating anybody for that matter? And destroying a country? For what? Well, greed, avarice, being a pirate, all for pilfering and plundering, and for his pocketbook. He wants his company SpaceX to work. He wanted Tesla to work. People are supposed to be buying his Tesla vehicles. Problem is, if he's the ownership on this damn thing, he had to take ownership of how it's malfunctioning left and right and how it's falling to pieces left and right. If there's these weird ass guidelines of how to take care of the piece of shit that's held up by duct tape and chewing gum and baling wire, no, then Tesla ought to be fall. Tesla ought to just either do an actual auto manufacturing instead of just cutting and pasting, or else just get out of business. Period. Go away. Go. We'll get a humongous grave area where we can bury your vehicles. Let them rot for all eternity. Then we come down to SpaceX. This is one. Right. SpaceX was one of those contracts that was awarded by NASA to SpaceX to get people up into and down from International Space Station. Problem is, Boeing also wanted to get into the contract, but they still hadn't quite fixed their issues yet. Their capsules were supposed to be generations ahead of the Apollo space program capsules. It was supposed to have been different than the space shuttle program itself. There were supposed to have been other space shuttle programs, weren't there? Commercial? Didn't work? What happened to them? Bezos of Amazon is still doing his I don't know, what the hell do you call it, an elevator? Or just a carnival ride? A very expensive carnival ride for a few seconds of throwing up in space, or actually in an environment, and then coming back down. But you're supposed to train for this damn thing to get on board the ship, to go up there, experience a few seconds of barf, and then come back down, and you're like, I barfed in the capsule. Musk invested billions of taxpayer money into SpaceX, so we have a transportation system for astronauts to go up, and also cargo could go up and down until the International Space Station is no more. But theoretically, during that time, we're supposed to have the privatization of spaceships and space stations. Where the hell are they? They're decades behind. And because the International Space Station is old, we're surprised it lasted this long. It was built out of government funding and out of other countries' funding to get this laboratory in space in low Earth orbit, where we're studying the stars, we're studying environments, we're getting exposure to space, to cosmic rays. It's not just a shot to the moon and coming right back. No. Long-term living. And this is also an experiment in how the human condition can survive in space. I was all for the space station and for the space shuttle system. If we had still had a space shuttle system of a sort, it still would have been, it still would have been a space taxi, but still, that's something. And that's, to me, is the Dragon. The only good thing that came out of SpaceX, and not necessarily Musk and his political ambitions. When he took up engineering courses in United States colleges, did he actually study a little bit more history, or did he care about history and political science of a country that he just got adopted into, and how he was going to screw it over, unless he already studied it already, to find how you can screw over a government system? I mean, that's how it seems, isn't it? That's what he's doing. So I'm sorry if I'm not pounding a pounding a beefsteak here into submission, or taking a roll of paper towel and really freak out about the damn thing. I'm sorry, I'm not into that particular position yet. Now, if you talk to me about ice, it's a different thing altogether. That's another video that I can actually pound the table with a paper towel roll. Well, I think I'm busy, or think I'm out of it. I probably am, because I'm still going through this damn thing. Is that enough outrage? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that's me being spaced out for right now. I'm not that irritated just yet. That being said.